Nicolle Wallace really went ahead and defined what the Republican Party has become. And I think this is not about just calling out the Republicans. This is about calling out the leadership of the Republican Party and who they have allowed the party, what they have allowed the party to become. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Texas is now worse than New York. Fox News doesn't say a single word about Governor Abbott in the midst of this time. And so we are seeing the deadly results, I mean that literally, the deadly results of pursuing only policies that focus on the I and nothing about the we. And the idea that getting people to wear masks somehow interferes, to wear a mask in a crowded theater or in a restaurant or wherever it has to be, somehow interferes with their right to be an American has become ludicrous. Protecting our grandparents, protecting our children, protecting anybody that's vulnerable by simply requiring in some places to wear a mask or to get a vaccine is just absolutely outrageous. Think about what we've lost in this country. More than 600,000 people. And think about, we lost less than 3,000 people on 9/11. The country came together and we actually misspent $4 trillion on a series of two wars that lasted 20 years. We're doing nothing compared to that. And we've lost multiples of more people in the midst of this. And our country can't come together in this because the Republicans only care about I. They only care about I, and they're not interested in we.
I don't say this very often. It's actually worse than that. They don't even care about I until they're intubated. And then they have these deathbed pleas to their loved ones to get vaccinated. And I want to ask you about, one of the most effective, Matt was talking about how Republicans weaponize culture issues. None so effectively, even more so than guns, is abortion. And they have taken it to a point where I think in Texas, there are laws where neighbors are asked to tell on neighbors in policing reproductive freedoms in that state, of which there are quite few, very, very limited. This is a pro-death position that these governors are taking on masks and on vaccines. They're now indifferent to life. And the media should be very, very, very reluctant to ever cover objectively the Republicans as a pro-life party. They are not.
Nicolle, you're absolutely right. Many of them are politicians of death. We see this extraordinarily toxic convergence of cynical, corrupt, and cowardly leadership with a sustained misinformation program, often funded by right-wing big money machines, as Jane Mayer's piece in The New Yorker detailed today. And all of it has had an impact, right, in real time, because we're losing people. Over 616,000 people are dead. And so I talked about, not too long ago, these civic blackouts in our country. Yeah. Well, we have, in some ways, one of the fuses is this kind of the depth, the disaster of leadership. Cynical, corrupt, cowardly leadership. And so all of this comes, when it converges, it puts our democracy in peril. So I think you're absolutely right, Nicolle.
And isn't that true? Put our democracy in peril. It is important that we understand what's going on here. When we have Matthew Dowd first talking about the party of I, and then Nicolle comes in and say, but it's even worse than that. It's not even the party of I, because when he said I, he meant I, meaning Republicans, conservatives. She said it's not even that, because look at what they're doing to the people they purport to be their own. They're killing them. They're encouraging them to have positions that actually harm them. And this is not up for debate whether these positions harm their people. These positions, you look at their deaths, you look at where they're dying, you look at what's happening to them. Their positions are killing them. From the policies they pass in red states that give them higher death rates in just about every department, to how they're handling the pandemic, to how they've allowed the pandemic to spread. It is a party of death. And when she says we must stop the media from attempting to describe Republicans as a pro-life party, it is a pro-death party, and I've been saying that for years. I've been saying, how can you not support social policies that saves lives and then call yourself pro-life? The only life you care about is one that has not yet become a life, a blastoma. Okay? That's the only thing you care about. Blastosis. My daughter corrected me the other day. I think I had it wrong again. Blastosis. Thank you, my beautiful daughter. She corrected me again. But that's the only thing you care about, a group of cells. And the only reason you care about that is because that is how you can control a whole group of people. In other words, how you can control a whole group of women. And there are other techniques you use to control a whole group of others as well. So Nicolle, Matthew Dowd, and Eddie Glaude, you hit the nail on the head. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.